Singapore Changi Airport, ATIS Information Golf, time 0857 Zulu, wind 180 at 5, visibility 21, temperature 29, dew point 25, QNH 1008. Remarks, no intersection departures, no pattern work, no light aircraft accepted at this time. Landing runways 20 right and 20 center, expect ILS approach, departing runways 20 right and 20 center, advise on initial contact, you have information Golf. Singapore Changi Airport, ATIS Information Golf, time 0857 Zulu, wind 180 at 5, visibility 21, temperature 29, dew point 25, QNH 1008. Remarks, no intersection departures, no pattern work, no light aircraft accepted at this time. Landing runways 20 right and 20 center, expect ILS approach, departing runways 20 right and 20 center, advise on initial contact, you have information Golf. Singapore Changi Airport, ATIS Information Golf, time 0857 Zulu, wind 180 at 5, visibility 21, temperature 29, dew point 25, QNH 1008. Remarks, no intersection departures, no pattern work, no light aircraft accepted at this time. Landing runways 20 right and 20 center, expect ILS approach, departing runways 20 right and 20 center, advise on initial contact, you have information Golf. November 331 Uniform Foxtrot, pushback approved, tail to the north. Singapore 3789, pushback approved, tail to the north. Pushback approved, tail to the north, Singapore 3789. Pushback approved, tail to the north, November 331 Uniform Foxtrot. Singapore Changi Ground, Singapore 257, ready to taxi with information Golf. Singapore 257, taxi to runway 20 right, contact tower when ready. Taxi to runway 20 right, Singapore 257. Singapore Changi Ground, Singapore 3789, ready to taxi with information Golf. Singapore 3789, taxi to runway 20 center, contact tower when ready. Singapore Changi Ground, November 331 Uniform Foxtrot, ready to taxi to runway 2 center with information Golf. Taxi to runway 20 center, Singapore 3789. November 331 Uniform Foxtrot, runway 20 right, taxi via Victor, Whiskey, contact tower when ready. Taxiing to runway 20 right via Victor, Whiskey, November 331 Uniform Foxtrot. Singapore Changi Ground, Singapore 890, ready for pushback with information Golf. Singapore 890, pushback approved, tail to the north. Pushback approved, tail to the north, Singapore 890. Singapore Changi ground, Singapore 308 heavy, ready for pushback with information Golf, requesting runway 20 center. Singapore 308 heavy, pushback approved, tail to the north. Pushback approved, tail to the north, Singapore 308 heavy. Singapore Changi ground, pushback approved, tail to the north. Singapore Changi ground, Condor 1887, ready for pushback with information Golf. Singapore Changi ground, Starwalker 771 Juliet X-ray, ready to taxi to runway 20 center. Starwalker 771 Juliet X-ray, runway 20 center, taxi via contact tower when ready. Condor 1887, hold position. Taxiing to runway 20 center via Starwalker 771 Juliet X-ray. Singapore Changi ground, Qantas 896 heavy, request taxi to 205 at the other terminals. Singapore Changi ground, KLM 835, request taxi to parking. Holding position, Condor 1887. KLM 835, taxi to parking, at your discretion. Taxi to parking, KLM 835. Qantas 896 heavy, taxi to 205 via Singapore Changi ground, Singapore 890, ready to taxi to runway 20 center with information Golf. Taxiing to 205 via Qantas 896 heavy. Singapore 890, runway 20 center, taxi via contact tower when ready. Taxiing to runway 20 center via Singapore 890. Singapore Changi ground, China Eastern 871, ready for pushback with information Golf, requesting runway 20 center. Singapore Changi ground, Singapore 105 heavy, ready for pushback with information Golf, requesting runway 20 center. Singapore Changi ground, Bravo 0721, ready for pushback with information Golf. Singapore Changi ground, Singapore 308 heavy, ready to taxi to runway 20 center with information Golf. Singapore 308 Heavy, taxi to runway 20 center, contact tower when ready. Taxi to runway 20 center, Singapore 308 Heavy. Singapore 105 Heavy, pushback approved, tail to the north. Pushback approved, tail to the north, Bravo 0721. Pushback approved, tail to the north, Singapore 105 Heavy. Singapore 7299 Heavy, taxi to 303 via China Eastern 871, pushback approved, tail to the south. Taxiing to 303 via Singapore 7299 Heavy. Pushback approved, tail to the south, China Eastern 871. November 331 Uniform Foxtrot, request frequency change. Singapore Changi Ground, 9 Victor Hotel Bravo Zulu Heavy, ready for pushback with information Golf, requesting runway 20 right. November 331 Uniform Foxtrot, you were already instructed to change frequency. November 331 Uniform Foxtrot, contact Singapore Changi Tower on 118.6. Contacting Singapore Changi Tower on 118.6, November 331 Uniform Foxtrot. 9 Victor Hotel Bravo Zulu Heavy, pushback approved, tail to the south. Condor 1887, pushback approved, tail to the south. Pushback approved, tail to the south, 9 Victor Hotel Bravo Zulu Heavy. Pushback approved, tail to the south, Condor 1887.
Singapore Changi Ground, Qantas 896 Heavy, ready for pushback, requesting runway 20 center.
Qantas 896 Heavy, pushback approved, tail to the north.
Pushback approved, tail to the north, Qantas 896 Heavy.
Singapore Changi Tower, approaching runway 20 center. Singapore 308 Heavy, tower is not accepting pattern work at this time. Singapore 890, frequency change approved, good day. Singapore Changi Tower, November 164 Papa Alpha, inbound on the ILS runway 20 right. Frequency change approved Singapore 890, good day. November 331 Uniform Foxtrot, wind 200 at 7, runway 20 right, cleared for takeoff. November 164 Papa Alpha, wind 200 at 7, number 1, runway 20 right, cleared to land. Cleared for takeoff, runway 20 right, November 331 Uniform Foxtrot. Number 1, cleared to land, runway 20 right, November 164 Papa Alpha. Singapore Changi Tower, Starwalker 771 Juliet X-ray, ready for departure at runway 20 center, departing north. Starwalker 771 Juliet X-ray, hold short of runway 20 center. Holding short runway 20 center, Starwalker 771 Juliet X-ray. Singapore 212, exit runway when able, contact ground on the taxiway. Wilco, Singapore 212. Indonesia 78 Heavy, exit runway when able, contact ground on the taxiway. Wilco, Indonesia 78 Heavy. Singapore Changi Tower, 9 Victor Hotel Bravo Zulu Heavy, ready for departure at runway 20 right, departing west. Nine Victor Hotel Bravo Zulu Heavy, wind 340 at 3, runway 20 right. Singapore 308 Heavy, line up and wait runway 20 center. Line up and wait runway 20 center, Singapore 308 Heavy. Approaching runway 20 center. Entered runway 20 center. Singapore Changi Tower, iFly 248 is 13 nautical miles to the west at 7,500 feet, inbound for landing. Zulu Uniform Kilo Echo Alpha, exit runway when able. Singapore 308 Heavy, wind 360 at 3, runway 20 center, cleared for takeoff. Cleared for takeoff, runway 20 center, Singapore 308 Heavy. November 331 Uniform Foxtrot, frequency change approved, good day. Singapore Changi Tower, Starwalker 8547 Heavy, inbound on the ILS runway 20 center with information Golf. Thank you, good day, Zulu Uniform Kilo Echo Alpha. Frequency change approved November 331 Uniform Foxtrot, good day. Line up and wait runway 20 center, Starwalker 771 Juliet X-ray. iFly 248, frequency change approved, good day. Frequency change approved iFly 248, good day. Starwalker 8547 Heavy, wind 360 at 3, number 1, runway 20 center, cleared to land. Number 1, cleared to land, runway 20 center, Starwalker 8547 Heavy. Condor 1887, hold position. Holding position, Condor 1887. 9 Victor Hotel Bravo Zulu Heavy, frequency change approved, good day. Frequency change approved 9 Victor Hotel Bravo Zulu Heavy, good day. Starwalker 771 Juliet X-ray, please expedite. Starwalker 771 Juliet X-ray, wind 360 at 3, runway 20 center, cleared for takeoff. Bravo 0721, line up and wait runway 20 center. Line up and wait runway 20 center, Bravo 0721. Cleared for takeoff, runway 20 center, Starwalker 771 Juliet X-ray. Qantas 896 Heavy, hold position.
Holding position, Qantas 896 Heavy.
Condor 1887, continued taxi. Continued taxi, Condor 1887. Singapore 308 Heavy, frequency change approved, good day. Frequency change approved Singapore 308 Heavy, good day.
Singapore Changi Tower, Qantas 896 Heavy, ready for departure at runway 20 center, departing south.
Bravo 0721, wind 360 at 3, runway 20 center, cleared for takeoff. Condor 1887, line up and wait runway 20 center. Cleared for takeoff, runway 20 center, Bravo 0721. Qantas 896 Heavy, hold position.
Holding position, Qantas 896 Heavy.
Line up and wait runway 20 center, Condor 1887. Starwalker 771 Juliet X-ray, frequency change approved, good day. Frequency change approved. Starwalker 771 Juliet X-ray. Good day. Lufthansa 810 Super, wind 360 at 3, number 1, runway 20 center, cleared to land. Condor 1887, wind 360 at 3, runway 20 center, cleared for immediate takeoff.
Number 1, cleared to land, runway 20 center, Lufthansa 810 Super.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 20 center, Condor 1887. Qantas 896 Heavy, hold short of runway 20 center.
Holding short runway 20 center, Qantas 896 Heavy.
Cathay 719 Victor Alpha, wind 360 at 3, number 1, runway 20 right, cleared to land. Number 1, cleared to land, runway 20 right, Cathay 719 Victor Alpha. Qantas 896 Heavy, line up and wait runway 20 center. Singapore Changi Tower, KLM 853, inbound on the ILS runway 20 center.
Line up and wait runway 20 center, Qantas 896 Heavy. Singapore Changi Tower, Singapore 105 Heavy, ready for departure at runway 20 right, departing west.
KLM 853, wind 360 at 3, number 1, runway 20 center, cleared to land. Number 1, cleared to land, runway 20 center, KLM 853. KLM 853, maintain 160 knots until 4-mile final. Singapore Changi Tower, Singapore 78 Victor, inbound on the ILS runway 20 right with information Golf. Singapore 105 Heavy, hold short of runway 20 right. Lufthansa 810 Super, exit runway when able, contact ground on the taxiway. Singapore 78 Victor, wind 360 at 3, number 2, runway 20 right, cleared to land. Number 2, cleared to land, runway 20 right, Singapore 78 Victor. Qantas 896 Heavy, wind 360 at 3, runway 20 center, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 20 center, Qantas 896 Heavy.
Cathay 719 Victor Alpha, exit runway when able, contact ground on the taxiway. Wilco, Cathay 719 Victor Alpha. Singapore 105 Heavy, wind 360 at 3, runway 20 right, cleared for takeoff. Qantas 896 Heavy, frequency change approved, good day.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 20 right, Singapore 105 Heavy. Frequency change approved, Qantas 896 Heavy, good day.
Condor 1887, frequency change approved, good day. Condor 1887, exit runway when able, contact ground on the taxiway. Condor 1887, disregard last message. Condor 1887, frequency change approved, good day. Frequency change approved Condor 1887, good day. China Eastern 871, line up and wait runway 20 center. Line up and wait runway 20 center, China Eastern 871. Singapore Changi Tower, Seabird 11, ready for departure at runway 20 right, departing east.
Singapore Changi Tower, Singapore 24 Heavy, ready for departure at runway 20 center, departing east.
Singapore 24 Heavy, your number 2 for departure. Red Cap 265, your number 3 for departure.
Roger, Singapore 24 Heavy.
Roger, Red Cap 265.
Singapore 105 Heavy, please expedite. Singapore 78 Victor, maintain slowest practical speed. Maintain slowest practical speed, Singapore 78 Victor.
Singapore Changi Tower, DHL 09 Heavy, ready for departure at runway 20 center, remaining in the pattern.
Seabird 11, hold short of runway 20 right. Holding short runway 20 right, Seabird 11. Singapore 78 Victor, go around, fly runway heading runway 20 right. Singapore 105 Heavy, cancel takeoff clearance, hold position.
Wilco, Singapore 105 Heavy. Singapore Changi Tower, Singapore 24 Heavy, ready for departure at runway 20 right, departing east.
China Eastern 871, wind 050 at 11, runway 20 center, cleared for takeoff. Cleared for takeoff, runway 20 center, China Eastern 871. DHL 09 Heavy, your number 4 for departure.
Roger, DHL 09 Heavy.
Singapore 24 Heavy, hold short of runway 20 right.
Holding short runway 20 right, Singapore 24 Heavy. Number 1, cleared to land, runway 20 center, flight check 80.
Singapore 78 Victor, request frequency change. Singapore 78 Victor, contact Singapore approach on 124.6.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 20 right, Singapore 105 Heavy.
Singapore 105 Heavy, wind 050 at 11, runway 20 right, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 20 right, Singapore 105 Heavy.
Singapore 24 Heavy, wind 050 at 11, runway 20 center, cleared for immediate takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 20 center, Singapore 24 Heavy.
Seabird 11, wind 050 at 11, runway 20 right, cleared for takeoff. Cleared for takeoff, runway 20 right, Seabird 11. Singapore 24 Heavy, line up and wait runway 20 right. Singapore 105 Heavy, frequency change approved, good day. China Eastern 871, frequency change approved, good day.
Line up and wait runway 20 right, Singapore 24 Heavy. Frequency change approved Singapore 105 Heavy, good day.
Singapore 24 Heavy, frequency change approved, good day.
Frequency change approved Singapore 24 Heavy, good day.
Frequency change approved China Eastern 871, good day. Red Cap 265, wind 050 at 11, runway 20 center, cleared for takeoff. DHL 09 Heavy, line up and wait runway 20 center.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 20 center, Red Cap 265.
Singapore 319, is on final runway 20 right. Flight check 80, contact Singapore Changi ground on 124.3.
Line up and wait runway 20 center, DHL-09 Heavy.
Contacting Singapore Changi ground on 124.3, flight check 80. Singapore 319, Roger. Singapore 319, wind 410 at 11, number 1, runway 20 right, cleared to land.
Singapore Changi Tower, Singapore 24 Heavy, ready for departure in sequence at runway 20 right, departing east.
Singapore Changi Tower, United 67 Uniform Papa Heavy, ready for departure at runway 20 right, departing east.
United 67 Uniform Papa Heavy, line up and wait runway 20 right. Speedbird 11, frequency change approved, good day. Frequency change approved Speedbird 11, good day. United 67 Uniform Papa Heavy, wind 050 at 11, runway 20 right, cleared for takeoff. DHL-09 Heavy, wind 050 at 11, runway 20 center, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 20 right, United 67 Uniform Papa Heavy.
Singapore 24 Heavy, frequency change approved, good day.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 20 center, DHL-09 Heavy.
Frequency change approved, Singapore 24 Heavy, good day.
Redcap 265, frequency change approved, good day.
Frequency change approved, Redcap 265, good day.
Singapore Changi Tower, KLM 835, ready for departure at runway 20 center, departing east.
Singapore Changi Tower, Emirates 007 Heavy, ready for departure in sequence at runway 20 center, remaining in the pattern.
KLM 835, wind 050 at 11, runway 20 center, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 20 center, KLM 835.
Emirates 007 Heavy, tower is not accepting pattern work at this time. United 67 Uniform Papa Heavy, frequency change approved, good day. DHL-09 Heavy, frequency change approved, good day.
Frequency change approved, United 67 Uniform Papa Heavy, good day.
Frequency change approved, DHL-09 Heavy, good day.
Singapore Changi Tower, Indonesia 837 Golf Alpha, ready for departure at runway 20 center, departing east. Singapore Changi Tower, All Nippon 867, inbound on the ILS runway 20 right with information Golf. All Nippon 867, wind 410 at 1.